Okay, in this student's example of a level 2 critique of Kate Mansfield's This Fly, I want to show you how to make this stronger. Well, first of all, we get a two-tier title. Very well done. I would just put some quotation marks around this because this is a title within a title. Now here I would like to see Kate Mansfield states in her short story The Fly that Woody Field was only allowed. Okay. Now, first off, this all needs to be expanded more. So there was just a basic problem with length. It looks like it's 4 lines or 5 lines, but that's I made the font larger. Okay, this was very short in the submission, so that was the major reason this is probably not going to get above a B minus. The author states that Woodfield, it's Woody Field, okay, his name, get the name right, was only allowed out of the house on Tuesday. This particular Tuesday he went to see the boss. This is such a particular level of detail that if you're going to bring this into the story, why don't you bring all the other details in? So notice how much from here is skipped over. The author makes it out as Woody Field and the boss are forgetful or demented. She makes it out to us as we can only survive so much tragedy or fall. Now wait a minute now. You see what you're getting here? This is interpretation. So I need you to go on up here about how they sat together, they talked, they had whiskey. Woody Field mentions a visit to Europe in which he sees the boss's son. The boss looks at the photo, the boss plays with the fly, the boss kills the fly, the boss forgets. See, I need those sort of basics of the summary. This, okay, needs to be part of the interpretation or the deeper message. This right up here, this is part of the interpretation, the deeper message. So you need to develop that, or the writer needs to develop that in this part right here. Okay? Now look, I think his son was in the military and died in the service. You don't have to say I think about that. I mean, that's very clear from the story. It's also very clear that boss never went to his gravesite. So some of this needs to get into the summary, and some of the stuff in the summary needs to get into the evaluation. Now here's where the writer moves into, some of the summary needs to get into interpretation, where you try to summarize. See, what I'm calling summary is really the recap of the literal level of the story, just the plot, the actual events. And then what I'm calling interpretation is really the recap of the deeper message that's there in the story, about grief, about memory, about dying, about children. Okay, this is also a story about children. So I need that to be in your interpretation, not more summary of the literal events, the actual plots. Now here's where an evaluation is attempted, and you're trying to respond to the story, but do not start like this. I think the story was very confusing. No. Don't tell me it's hard to interpret. I know it is, but you're already asking for a low grade here because you're telling me I don't know what I'm writing. So don't ever admit that. I mean, you might not actually know what you're writing, but pretend that you do, and be confident, or at least confidently, write confidently, even if you may not be confident, that this is how you are responding. So I would fix this. I would have more of an authorial voice down here. This is probably going to be around a 2, a 2.2 as far as a grade goes.